Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Foer. Summary from 4-Minute Books. Written by Nicholas Gork. Read by Ian Pringle. One-sentence summary. Moonwalking with Einstein not only educates you about the history of memory and how its standing has declined over centuries, but also gives you actionable techniques to extend and improve your own. Favorite quote from the author. If you want to live a memorable life, you have to be the kind of person who remembers to remember. Joshua Foer. When I read How We Learn a little over a week ago, Moonwalking with Einstein popped up at the end of it. The title sounded interesting, so here we are. It's safe to say that Joshua Foer has lots of memory credentials. He won the 2006 USA Memory Championship and set a new record for memorizing a deck of 52 cards, 1 minute and 40 seconds. When he's not memorizing stuff, he works as a freelance writer, writing for the New York Times or the Washington Post, for example. He also has a TED Talk. Here's what I learned from the book summary. 1. The importance of memory has diminished from century to century. 2. Our now horrible memory isn't fixed. 3. 2 great techniques to instantly improve your memory are chunking and the memory palace. Let's go. Lesson 1. Memory has become less and less important throughout history. We didn't always have the attention span of a goldfish, but today it sure seems that way. Imagine our memory had been so bad once we finally became old enough to pass on knowledge from generation to generation. We wouldn't be here today had the elders not remembered a few important things. Before the invention of scripture, memory artists were today's equivalent of quarterbacks. King Cyrus of Persia was known for knowing all the names of his soldiers, and Socrates mocked writing for making people forgetful. No wonder. Anything that was written before 200 BC had no punctuation. All texts were basically just word strings. If you didn't already know what you were reading, reading was useless. If there's one guy to blame for the decline of memory, we'd have to point the finger at Johannes Gutenberg. In 1440, he invented the printing press, and it was all downhill from there. Once we could store information externally, physically store it anywhere in our house and access it at any time, the need to remember things significantly declined. This tendency has continued ever since, and taken a major turn for the worse with the invention of smartphones and globally available internet. Lesson 2. However, our bad memory isn't fixed. However, just because our memory sucks now doesn't mean we can't improve it. You might know that the average number of lists items we can store in our short-term memory is 7. This capacity can be extended, though, as shown in a study by K. Anders Ericsson and William Chase from 1980. Test subject SF expanded his ability to memorize digits from 7 to 79 through over 230 hours of repeating number sequences to himself, a technique also called the phonological loop. Similarly, it was found that chess players have a so-called chess memory. Because they are an expert in their field, they perceive the board differently and focus on the most important parts of it, based on their experience. It's called chess memory because it is limited to chess and won't help them do better on general memory tests. The lesson? Through repetition, practice, and becoming an expert in certain fields, you could increase your capacity to remember things.
Now, before we get into lesson number 3, if you love learning and growing thanks to books like this one, you should download our free list of the 7 best self-help books of all time. After summarizing over 1,000 books, we handpicked these 7 top titles and curated them in a beautifully designed, easily skimmable PDF. It will help you pick your next great self-improvement read. Just enter your email using the link below this video, confirm in your inbox, and we'll instantly send you the list, free of charge. Alright, let's dive into lesson number 3.
Lesson 3. Chunking and the memory palace are 2 great techniques to instantly improve your memory. Remembering more is one thing, and you're bound to hit an eventual ceiling there, but recalling better and faster is where it really gets interesting. 2 quick examples from the summary are chunking and the memory palace. Chunking simply means dividing one string of information into several. Can you remember 11172001122419999 just by looking at it once? Neither can I, but I can remember 2 dates in a row, the 11/17/2001 and 12/24/1999. Fascinating, right? By creating two chunks of differently formatted information, memorizing a string of seemingly random numbers becomes easy. If you now put these dates into context, it will be even easier. For example, 11/17/2001 was my friend's 11th birthday, and the second date was Christmas, 1999. The memory palace is a technique where you walk along a route you know really well and put memories in certain locations along the way. For example, you could go through your childhood home and place the items from your shopping list on the kitchen table. Then, when you're in the grocery store, all you have to do is mentally enter the kitchen and see what's there. Once you see tomatoes, onions, and potatoes on the table, you know what to shop for. You can even have multiple routes for different kinds of memories.
Hey, this is Nick, the founder of 4-Minute Books, and if you feel even a tiny bit smarter after watching this book summary, you should watch this next one and discover even more tips and tricks on how to think better and get smarter from another expert researcher. Click on through and let's get started.